Do you want to see what happens when you don't let your children watch horror movies? Do you want to see what happens? Shit like this! Huh? Here, I'll give you a second to read it. Read all that. Took me a while. I don't know how long it takes you people to read. But are you reading it? Are you seeing what it says? The fuck are they talking about? Boring. I mean, yeah, sure. They're not playing on their cell phones during the entire movie, so yeah, it must be boring. I don't know. What is your favorite fucking vampire movie, Twilight? Are you one of those fucking people? Huh? Were you born in 1999? Are you what a real millennial is? Somebody that was actually born during the millennium? Because, you know, people kept trying to tell me I was a millennial because I was born in 1983. I'm like, you're ignorant. But not as ignorant as this shit. And I told her, I said, I'm throwing you under the bus. Because this is ridiculous. This is what happens when your parents don't let you watch rated R horror movies when you're 5. You know, you grow up and shit like this comes out of your mouth. Or your fingertips. Whatever. Anyway, thanks for being such a great sport. I guess you figured out what movie we're reviewing. Because it's Friday the 13th. And hopefully I can get it done before Saturday the 14th. Because I don't want to have to review that movie. Whatever. It's Drewski McGillicuddy's worst Friday the 13th movie review on YouTube. Hey, wait a minute. Hey everybody, it's Drewski McGillicuddy, and excuse that long drawn-out intro. Hopefully it wasn't boring, like the Friday the 13th franchise, because apparently people don't like these movies, but, you know, who gives a fuck about what they think, you know? Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but when you're wrong, you might as well just keep your opinion to yourself. Anyway, let's talk about Friday the 13th, 1980. Or was it 80 or 81? I don't remember. I didn't do my research, but I've seen this movie 11,000 times. I didn't even watch the whole thing. I just put it on in the background while I was chasing the cat around because he's bad cat. I'm not here to talk about that. We're going to talk about this movie. Now, when I was a little kid, this was my least favorite of the franchise. I thought, big whoop. But as I got older, I grew to appreciate it. I especially love the POV aspect of the killer. They used to do that somewhat in the 80s, but they kind of stopped doing it, and I don't understand why. I mean, I like it. I like it a lot. I mean, I don't know what to say about it other than I like the opening, how, you don't see, and this is like a really good whodunit. So yeah, let's go back a little bit. I'm going to be all over the place with this review, so be prepared. A lot of people want to compare this to Halloween and talk about, Halloween's so much better because it's like, no, not necessarily. It depends on who you are. I mean, it's like that with everything, right? But this movie couldn't be any more different than Halloween, other than the fact that it's a horror movie and there's somebody going around stabbing people. But other than that, the stories are completely different. Now, a lot of people want to say that Halloween has the better story, but is that necessarily true? You got a guy in a white mask going around killing babysitters. Sure, he killed his sister when he was 6 or whatever, and then he's going around killing random babysitters because they were standing by his house or on his street. Yeah, that's a great story. Great story, everybody. Yeah. Or you have this, which they stole the whole date idea. They said, well, Halloween, that's a day of the year. Friday the 13th is a day of the year. And now Friday the 13th, is celebrated kind of like a holiday now. We're celebrating Friday the 13th right now. But yeah, this movie is the story of a mother who lost her child to the neglect of a bunch of young people, a bunch of young, dumb people. It's like, every decade there's always young people, and they're associated with being dumb. Go figure. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm just aggravated. I'm having a bad day. It's Friday the 13th. Anyway, so what are we talking about? a mother loses her son to the neglect of young dumb people. You know, we're talking about that. And then it's a revenge flick because she doesn't want it to happen to anybody else. But in this case, she's fucking psychotic. Oh my god, did I fucking mention spoiler alert? Spoiler alert, everybody. If you haven't seen this movie, fucking don't even bother. Don't even bother. You're not gonna fucking like it. If you waited this fucking long to watch Friday the 13th! That's like Lee McCoy waiting fucking 40 years to watch Night of the Living Dead. But anyway, let's talk about the movie. The opening. What a great opening. Kumbaya. Kumbaya, motherfucker. Should I start all the way over? Or just cut like a whole bunch of shit out? I don't know what to do. I would say leave a comment and let me know what I should do, but I'm not going to be able to read it by the time... Okay, so we open up, and a bunch of people are playing the guitar, singing Kumbaya, and then these two teenagers run off to finagle each other, give the horizontal bop, so to speak. And they're walked in on, and you know, you don't see who it is, but they're like, oh, we weren't doing nothing, and then and that goes back to the POV kill. I love it. Like, even when it doesn't necessarily show anything, because like growing up, most of the time I watched this on the television, so all the stuff was cut out, so I didn't see the actual unrated or rated R version until I was maybe 13. But it made me appreciate the less is more aspect of horror movies. Like, you don't have to show everything. Leave it, you know, just, you know, give us a mental image. I got a very active imagination. But anyway, that's beside the point, because this was the uncut version where you get the extra blood and gore. Like the first kill, when Annie gets her throat slit, it actually shows the blood pour out. Whereas if you watch just the rated R version, it just shows her throat slit and then it cuts away. But yeah, I love how much more original the... What were we even fucking talking about? We were trying to compare this to Halloween, but like, if you look, Halloween has a body count of 3. I lost count after 3 in this movie. Not to mention, the kills are a lot more creative. The only problem with the kills and some of the boob, like, there's death booby traps for unsuspecting victims to come across the dead bodies. And it's like, how the fuck did this almost senior citizen lady, how did she do this? I don't know. I mean, that's the one thing that takes away from this movie, is the fact that it's implausible to think that this woman did all this stuff by herself. She put a guy in a tree. Actually, that's probably the only one that really is kind of far. Well, I guess she arrowed the guy to the door. I mean, hell, Jason would probably have a hard time doing that. Oh my god, this is gonna be like the worst fucking review I've ever done. Thanks a lot. This is the person that got me all flustered before I started doing the reviews fault. Yeah, so don't look at me. It's not my fault. I was all raring to get home and do this review because it's Friday the 13th. I got home, read some stuff in Killer Flicks, and it affected me. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about the characters. Now, I'll be honest, people are right when they say, I mean, they're sort of memorable characters, but their names aren't important enough to remember. I mean, you got Annie, the girl that gets killed at the beginning, and you got Alice, the final girl, and Steve Christie, and then I don't remember what Kevin Bacon's name in the movie was. And then I was literally just watching the scene. You know, the guy, Tonto. We'll call him Tonto. That's what the cop calls him. But yeah, I mean, I've always been, you know, having trouble with remembering people's names or characters' names in movies. But yeah, I've never been able to remember all the characters' names in the original Friday the 13th. I remember their characters. I mean, you got Kevin Bacon and his Speedo. That was a standout scene, as well as his death scene, one of the most creative and coolest looking kills in a movie ever. I don't know. I guess what I love about this movie is the nostalgia, obviously, but just looking back at, the way things looked and like just the clothing, the Coke cans or Pepsi cans, whatever have you, like, the stuff in the backgrounds that's actually from the 80s. Because like Stranger Things and other stuff, when they try to recreate they try to recreate it, but there's no recreating this time period perfectly. This movie captures the 80s at its cool. Well, I mean, I guess something like Can't Buy Me Love would be a better example of something that captures the essence of the 80s. But this is the early 80s. Like, it's the end of the 70s, the beginning of the 80s. God damn. Oh my fucking God. I'll watch this, and then maybe I'll splice it into my next one. Where are we even at? Where the fuck are we even at? Alright? So, alright. Are we going to talk about the fucking movie? And Steve Christie's trying to set this camp up, and they're telling the people that are going to the camp in town that it's cursed. There's Ralph. There's crazy Ralph. He says, don't go there. You're all doomed. You'll die if you go there. You're doomed and stuff. That's pretty much his lines for the movie. But they go to the camp anyway. Steve Christie's got... Oh my God. Maybe I'll list... I don't know. I wonder how long I've been fucking sitting here. But yeah, Steve Christie, he's kind of he seems like a bit of a raper. But he definitely wants to rape Alice. That's terrible too. Anyway, yeah. I don't even know where the fuck I am anymore. Alright? There's a bunch of stuff going on over in Killer Flicks. I'm all aggravated. Let's just talk about, the kills in this movie are pretty cool. I like the kills. The axe to the face, that's a good one. It looks real. It looks like they really hit that bitch in the face with an axe. It also looks like they really stuck an arrow through Kevin Bacon's throat. Except for his fucking weird looking tan line. Other than that, it looks pretty fucking good. And then you don't really even see what happens to the other guy. But that looks real too. Do you want to know why? Because Tom Savini is the god of special makeup effects. Might be an asshole, but he's the god of special makeup effects. I mean, Greg Nicotero's slowly taking his place, but whatever. This was like the 80s, and this shit looks real. Nowadays, they try to computer generate shit like this, and it looks stupid as fuck. But then you have movies like this, where they have practical effects. See, now we're talking about practical effects. Anyway, so, as you know, as a boy, Jason drowned. Jesus Christ. As a boy, Jason drowned, okay? So then his mother starts killing people. The water was bad one year. This is partially your fault, Cameron. Yeah, I'm just throwing that out there. I'm just throwing it out there. You trying to be funny has got me all flustered, along with people thinking that it's appropriate to talk about Daddy's butthole in Killer Flicks and Mommy's vagina. It's ignorant. It's dumb shit. It might have been funny 20 years ago when I was 14. Hell, I don't know. I don't even know where the fuck I am anymore. Should I oh, God. Anyway, let's rate the movie. Because you know what happens, right? We'll talk about this fucking movie some other time. I don't know. I don't fucking know. So anyway, eventually everybody turns up dead, and it's just Alice. And then she meets Pamela Voorhees. And yeah, watching it at first, you're probably like, it couldn't be. Couldn't be. But it might be. Because, you know, watching this movie for the first time without spoilers, I mean, that's a pretty epic reveal, and they didn't have anything like that in Halloween. I mean, you know, not that I'm saying Halloween is not, I don't know what the fuck I'm saying anymore, okay? But I'm gonna go ahead and rank this movie. I'm giving it a solid 8 out of 10. Sure, it might be dated, but it's got the nostalgia to back it up. If you're not a fucking asshole and you watched this movie when you were a child, you'll know what the fuck I'm talking about. You know, this movie, like, people want to argue over what caused the slasher craze. People want to say it was Halloween. No, it was Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th stole the simple idea of somebody going around stabbing people and having it be a day of the year for the title, and they ran with it. And then that caught like wildfire and created the actual slasher genre. Because if you notice, a lot of slashers tend to copy more off of Friday the 13th. Like, that's why there's so many camp slashers. But yeah, solid 8 out of 10. Yeah, I know it's a lot of it's nostalgia talking. Or maybe I should give it a 7. Take off because I can't remember the fucking people's names. I don't know. I love the Friday the 13th franchise. And I'm, for the most part, am joking about, you know, if you don't like them, you know, I don't give a fuck. Okay? Just don't talk to me. No, I'm kidding. But anyway, you're probably all gonna dislike this video. Hell, I don't even like this fucking video. This is like the 3rd fucking try. Because every time I go to do something, I'll fuck up. I'll turn it off. I'll try to edit it, and then fuck up, turn it off, try to edit it, and fucking people gotta be fucking running off at the mouth with dumb shit and Killer Flicks. If you're not a part of Killer Flicks, come over to Killer Flicks and we'll just fucking fight and argue about dumb shit because nobody wants to talk about fucking horror movies anymore. I'm gonna go check my fucking blood pressure. Like the video, don't like the video, I don't give a fuck! But just as long as you click that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 300 subscribers so I can do another special video. Even though only like 100 people watch my fucking channel. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, okay? But it's something you're gonna have to learn to love.
You're going to Camp Blood, ain't you? You'll never come back again. It's got a death curse.